Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and in today's video I'm going to be talking a little bit about my favorite sustainable brands. So for many people, sustainable fashion is an oxymoron because fashion is in itself a very harmful industry to the planet, which is also why I want to start out this video with a little disclaimer. Obviously, the number one most sustainable option is always to avoid buying new things. There will always be some sort of strain on the environment or resources when something new is produced, so buying secondhand or not buying anything is always going to be the most sustainable option. That said, no one is perfect, and I'm a very firm believer that everyone should do what they can, and that shaming people for buying fast fashion is never the way forward. I feel like it's almost become this sort of gatekeeping thing where if you don't completely stop buying fast fashion and live zero waste and also become a vegan, then you're not doing enough. And that's just not true. It can be super overwhelming when first learning about the different ways you can reduce your impact on the planet. And I think that many people give up because it just seems so insurmountable. With myself, for example, I have a YouTube channel where I talk about sustainability and ethical fashion. I'm not perfect at all. So I just think we need to take some of the pressure off ourselves to be perfect all the time, and instead focus on the things we can do to get better. Even just cutting down on your meat intake or buying a little bit less fast fashion is a win in my book. Being sustainable with your consumer habits is not an all or nothing thing, and I really think we need to remember that. So that said, I have challenged myself this year not to buy anything from new, which means a lot of these brands I haven't actually tried myself. But I've been following them on Instagram for a long time, I've seen other people's reviews, and of course I've done a lot of research on their ethical practices and what they're doing to reduce their impact. But I really urge you to do your own research before buying anything from a brand, just to make sure that they live up to your expectations of what a sustainable or ethical brand is. So with all that said, here is the first brand. And this one is called 07 Days, and it's a small women's wear brand. They make all of their clothes from dead stock fabric, which means they use all the leftover fabric from textile factories. So instead of leftover fabric ending up in landfills, they get sewn into new clothes. They have a lot of cotton, linen, and viscose in their designs, and I especially love their tops. I think they're so interesting and really beautifully made. Another thing I thought was really cute was this little section on their website where they introduced the tailors that make the clothes, so you actually know how it's being made and by who. And a great alternative for the more high-end pieces because they are a little bit pricey, sadly. The next one is called stout and whoopi, which is a Danish brand. They are extremely transparent on their website about the things they are doing to better themselves and be responsible in the fashion industry. Their designs are very young and modern and not your typical bohemian linen type style that sustainable brands for some reason always have. They are a little bit pricey but often have sales with really good discounts. And they use a lot of organic and recycled materials for their designs. Before I continue, I just want to do a little bit of self-promo. I just finished the pattern for my Clover cami, which is now live on my website. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I've been working on this for months now. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll leave a link in the description so you can go and check that out. Next up is Organic Basics, which is another Danish brand. They make undergarments and basics, which I guess you can hear from the name. They are really transparent about the practices they use and the conditions in their factories, as well as all the materials they use, which is often organic cotton or recycled materials. They actually sent me a few sample items from their Invisible collection, and I was so impressed with the quality. Undergarments are one of the things that you just should not buy secondhand, and I think that when you do have to buy something from new, this is a great place to go. I also have a code for 10% off any order in the description box down below if you want to check them out. New in fashion. So I think this brand is fairly new and it's actually co-founded by Marcus Butler. I remember watching him when I first started watching YouTube and loving his videos, and he kind of disappeared from my radar for few years, but apparently this is what he's been up to lately. So New in Fashion has mostly active and loungewear, and it all looks super, super comfortable. The thing that surprised me the most were their prices though, which were super, super affordable. And just like all the other brands I've mentioned, they have lots of information on their website about all the practices they use to be more responsible and ethical.
You a queen that must be heaven sent. Pray my soul, I must repent for
The next brand is called House of Sonny. And I've been following them on Instagram for over a year, I think now. And I'm just so in love with their whole aesthetic and concept, which is a little bit more out there than most of these other brands. They have very limited runs of each item, so they release only a few hundred of them each time. And this way they don't overproduce and create excessive waste. They use a few different technologies to reduce waste, especially in water consumption for denim, and they have a whole section for that on their website too. And it just feels very exclusive, but with realistic prices. I mean, they're not fast fashion prices by any means, but at least you know you're getting something that will last for a long time. The last brand I want to mention is Faithful the brand, which I think is based in Bali. They just make the most beautiful garments with lots of colors and prints, so you're absolutely sure to find the perfect summer dress. Sadly, their prices are almost Reformation level, so. But yeah, that was all I had for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or ideas for future videos, feel free to leave a comment down below. And otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
I've ever known.